Good morning. Welcome to the second in our series of global introductions to the grademetrix machine guidance range. Across our product range, we are introducing a new value point that lowers the barrier to entry for contractors, a solution with an easy-to-use operating interface, and that does not compromise on performance or functionality. If you missed yesterday's webinar on the grademetrix excavator, I encourage you to register for next week's excavator webinar, which will cover it again. Invite other parties from your company who may be interested on how these exciting new systems can save you money at the right price. A couple of quick notes before we go on. Some of the attendees on this webinar are new and some attended yesterday's excavator webinar. For those attending for the second time, some of the content will be familiar, but the focus is solely on dozers in this presentation, so you'll definitely see new content. Questions can be asked in the chat box to the left of your screen. Team members are standing by to answer your questions individually and live. You can also download grademetrix brochures to the right of the screen. Lastly, I'd like to encourage you to contact your local Hemisphere dealer right after the presentation. He'll be able to discuss the system benefits with you and schedule a demonstration or trial. Invest 15 minutes of your time to see how you can save costs and increase efficiency at an affordable price. One of our dealers took his first call yesterday, 10 minutes after the presentation. A contractor tired of paying too much. You can also call us here at Hemisphere and we'll put you in touch with the right people to assist you. These are the points that I will cover in this presentation. A brief outline of the team here at Hemisphere in Brisbane, a look at the key features of the system and the benefits they provide, and a technology review outlining the performance of the components. Following this, I'll run a video that goes through the functionality and the use of the system using our simulator as the presenting tool. Lastly, I'll go through a summary and price guide before closing. So now I'd like to introduce you to the team. I'm Tony Clear and I manage the region of Australia and New Zealand at Hemisphere. I'm supported by Mark Brook in the field application role and also by Liam Anderson, who's our operations manager. Mark is an extremely experienced engineer, having managed the machine control operation at one of Australia's largest civil contractors, and I come from a GPS and machine control background covering Europe, US, and Australia. Our partners in Australia all come from a services background, which is a different model to traditional machine control providers. We hope that our experience with these excellent new products and with the background and experience of our partners, we can offer you a leading step into the efficiency, accuracy, and profitability that machine guidance can provide. And so to the grademetrix dozer system. In this slide, I'll introduce you to some of the key components. Hemisphere has developed a unique concept for the dozer market, the VR500 receiver. It combines all the key technology required into the one unit. The VR500 is mounted to the roof of the cabin with only one cable to the screen, and the setup can be set with the tracks as the reference or the blade as the reference, using sensors to eliminate the need for masts entirely. More on this innovation in future slides. The Iron One display is a touchscreen unit with excellent brightness and response, and is the screen provided with all the grademetrix solutions. I'll also expand on this in future slides. The sensors are solid state, which means that there are no moving parts susceptible to failure. The system is by far the easiest to install, with installation and calibration typically completed in little more than half a day. One of our customers recently completed the installation himself due to our travel restrictions, and the whole job was completed in less than 5 hours using the instructions provided. Grademetrix solutions come complete with all constellations enabled. You do not need to pay extra to upgrade from GPS GLONASS only. The operator interface is designed for ease of use. Cut and fill are shown very clearly on the left and right of the screen with almost no lag, increasing the efficiency of your operators, from the trainees right through to the experienced handlers. A key feature is the ability to work to existing field situations on the fly. An operator can very simply design his own work in the field. The most basic of this is a flat pad. An operator might need to cut a flat pad to a local surface using the current position of the blade as the reference. This might be in the case of a construction site for warehousing, residential, a wind turbine pad, any other number of applications. He might also need to set a height at a certain elevation and cut to this, for example, 12.5 meter RL. These tasks are all able to be completed very simply from the screen in the cab. Operators can similarly design straight slopes, slopes with a crossfall, or even slopes with complex cross slopes and drainage slopes either side of a centre line. These can all be designed on the fly in the cab. Further, in stockpile sites such as quarries or mines, an operator can pick up points around a stockpile by simply driving around it, then use those points to make a surface. He will then always know where the floor of the stockpile is, making material consumption and turnover far more efficient. The visualization of the field design or survey supplied design file means that operators can cut exactly to design and even choose guidelines from the screen to guide them in a plan view. For example, when boxing out a road or cutting along a proposed retaining wall. So what are the benefits of these features? The major benefit is reduction. Your sites are getting done faster and more accurately. You are reducing your costs considerably on labour and fuel as a direct result of the time savings. Material costs are also dramatically reduced. You're not overcutting, which saves on waste costs and replacement material costs, and you're not undercutting, which saves on rework costs and time. What about professional services costs? By nature, the dozer is the natural enemy of the stake marker. How much money do you spend getting survey stakes replaced after the dozer has made a few passes? What about centre lines, edges of roads, and site boundaries? What if you could do your own spot checks and set out these stakes yourself? How much time and cost could you save per week? All of this is completed on-site using your own guidance system that is easy to use and draws efficiency gains from your operators, no matter what their skill set. You have complete control of your site. This brings me to the technology section of the presentation. All constellations are provided in the grademetrix solution. On the top right, you can see 46 satellites being tracked from American, Russian, European, Chinese, and Japanese constellations. On the bottom right, you can see 22 satellites being tracked from GPS and GLONASS only. So where is the benefit? On a clear site with no obstructions, there is no benefit. But what about normal working conditions? If trees are filtering access to satellites, you need as many as possible to guarantee position and accuracy lock. In built-up urban environments, you need as many as possible to reduce the effect of multipath and blockages. And in urban canyons or mine environments, you obviously need as many as possible due to the limited sky view. A key part of the technology is the VR500. Hemisphere is very proud to present this new concept in machine guidance. Solutions in the market today are generally of two types. The first is a dual mast solution that generally uses a receiver antenna combination on each side of the blade. The end result is the most expensive and heaviest components being mast mounted on the harshest shock part of the machine. The second is a single mast solution, which is also mounted to the blade and uses the current direction as the heading. When the machine reverses, these systems can incorrectly assume that the machine is heading forwards. The VR500 unit has a receiver and two antennas built in, along with the radio, Bluetooth, and power management. The antennas are separated by exactly 0.5 meters, which allows it to accurately calculate heading as well as position at all times. Sensors are used on the chassis and the blade to correctly determine the slope and elevation of the chassis and the blade. The result is a mastless solution that suits all dozers, no matter how large or small, and that mounts the expensive components all in one on the roof of the cab, away from the damaging vibration of the blade. The VR500 is designed specifically for a dozer, no matter what the size, and a compact excavator. The aim is to create a solution with a price point that for the first time is a viable return on investment perspective for compact excavators, smaller dozers for urban contractors, and heavy mine spec dozers in either blade or track reference modes. The efficiency gain available from machine guidance can now be applied to smaller machines just as well as larger units, and these efficiency gains are available at an affordable price. A further point to mention here is the 3-year warranty on all the expensive components. Hemisphere has been in the market for many years and is the first choice supplier of GPS components for many OEM manufacturers. We know how to put components together. The rigorous testing we do gives us complete confidence to offer such an extensive peace of mind 3-year warranty. The Iron 1 display is the center of the grademetrix solutions. It's a high visibility, high response touchscreen with integrated Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and Bluetooth, and is IP67 rated for water and dust penetration. The screen also has a built-in modem. You do not require a costly external modem as required with other systems. The operating system is Windows 10. This is a key feature of the system as it allows you to run other apps at the same time as the grademetrix solution. This can be apps such as search engines, maps, and access apps such as TeamViewer for remote support and remote file loading. This screen also comes with a 3-year warranty. We will now present an overview of the operating system of the grademetrix solution. My colleague Mark Brook has put together the following video to show you how the functionality of the system.
Thanks, Tony. Hi everyone, I'm Mark Brook and I'm the Field Application Engineer for Hemisphere GNSS here in Brisbane, Australia. Today I'd like to take just 15 minutes of your time to scratch the proverbial surface on some of the powerful functionality contained within our grademetrix for dozer platform. Full disclosure here, the demonstration I'm showing you today is performed on a PC using our simulation software. It is hard to mimic the real movements of a machine to demonstrate this functionality, but I'll do my best. We will get started here on the main user interface that the operator will see within the cab whilst operating the machine. You can see I'm positioned here on a road box. Using the 3D technology, we can move around the job site while providing real-time grade indication to the operator. As I track the machine backwards and forwards, you will see the machine position update accordingly on the top plan view. This is a top-down view of the job containing line work information similar to paper plans. You will notice that the cross-section view down the bottom contains a cross-section of the road box. This is referencing the 3D surface model that has been imported into the job, and it will also update as the machine is moved around site, which I'll demonstrate. You will also notice on this particular view, on the left and right hand side of the screen, we have light bars or cut fill indicators. These give real-time cut fill values from the edges of the blade against the design surface. Speaking of views, we have a variety of options available at the operator's disposal to assist them in matching grade. The operator can easily change between these, and often it'll just come down to preference or application. Some of the more commonly used views include the one pictured at the moment, which has plan, cross-section and a big cut fill value. Plan, cross-section and profile view, which gives a side-on view of the machine against the surface. And the plan-only view, which gives only a single light bar with a cut fill value based on the reference point of the blade, but it also gives a more noticeable cut and fill value down the bottom left corner, as well as a current cross slope of the blade pictured on the right hand side and current cross slope of the design. You can see here that the current cross slope of the design is set to 3% due to the crown of the road, and on the next screen, which is a plan view and a cross section view with a single cut fill, you'll be able to see the representation of that 3% in the cross-section view. You can see here now, as I move the blade up and down, the cut fill indicator on the left-hand side will change, and the numbers, which are meters to 3 decimal places, will update accordingly to show the distance to the surface. And as I start to tilt the blade from side to side, you'll notice that the real-time blade slope indicator in the bottom right hand corner will also update and show the current slope of the blade. Occasionally the operator may want to know his current elevation to reference against the design elevation. You can do this by accessing the information tab in the top right hand corner. This also contains some other useful information such as RTK status. It's worth noting that the positional information in this tab is based off the reference point of the blade, which is your green arrow on the cross-section view of the blade. This can be changed by pressing and holding on the blade and changing the reference point location in the menu. Most surface models uploaded into the machine will be referencing the finished surface level. The operator may want to offset this vertically for subgrade or compaction layers. You can do this by pressing and holding on the light bar, entering an offset in the offset menu, and type this manually. A minus value is below, a positive value is above. You can see the light bar indications have adjusted accordingly to show the offset. It's also showed on the cross-section view with a line that's been drawn on the cross-section view. You can also use the step indications to change the offset. You can adjust the step offset in the same menu. Now you can see it's changing by 50 mil each time we press that button. We also offer the ability to save preset offsets, which is handy for people that are changing between offsets often. We offer the ability to save 9 of these presets. In grademetrix, we offer the ability to lock certain functions behind an administrator password. This is to prevent operators from accidentally modifying something they shouldn't. Start by entering the hamburger menu in the top right corner and selecting the person icon in the bottom left. You can see some menus are grayed out and are only accessible behind admin password. This password can be manually adjusted within the settings. We're now ready to move on to the creation of the 3D job. Enter the main hamburger menu and select New Job. Give the job a name. You can also enter in a description or notes in here for the operator to describe specific information about this job if desired. On the next screen, you will need to bring in a localization and line work file. For localizations, we currently support the direct import of Carlson.loc file format, and we're also looking to expand this to CSV and other mixed fleet file formats in the future. If you do not have a .loc file, you can also enter it in the control point information manually in a later screen. Select the localization file and you're ready to move on to the line work file. We support common CAD file formats for line work such as DXF and DWG. Consult the manual for a full list of supported file types. Next, we'll move on to importing the tin or 3D surface model, digital terrain model, etc. Press Add and select the file. We offer the ability to upload multiple surface files. Of course, the cut fill value will only reference one of these at a time, but it is useful for things such as material deposits and avoidance zones. On the next page, you're able to select your projection or transformation set if required. This should be specified to you as part of the control information from your surveyor. Then you can move on to the final localization page, which contains GPS coordinates and references against the local coordinates of your job. You can press Add on the bottom of the screen to enter these coordinates in manually if you are bringing the data across from a third-party platform. When there is no 3D surface or line work information available for a job, we offer the ability for the operator to create their own 3D designs on the fly. We call this field design. To get started, enter the menu and go to field design. We have the option to select flat pad, hold slope, sloping pad and ramp. I will demonstrate these starting with flat pad. All you need to do is simply give it a name, hit the record button and type in the desired elevation and press OK. You can now see that the flat green surface has been created using the field design and has been overlaid over the existing surface model. When a field design is created, the cut fill indicators will now reference the field design surface rather than the original DTM. To demonstrate hold slope, I'll quickly first backtrack a little bit and demonstrate how to select and steer to a guideline. Press and hold on the desired line. In this case, it is a lipid curb line, and select Use Guideline. This will now provide a distance indicator between the machine reference point and the line. It also shows the chainage along that line. This functionality is used as part of the hold slope field design. In the grading setup menu, you can set an offset in order to offset the line horizontally, which can be useful for offsetting boundary lines, trenching profiles, that sort of thing. You can also change the reference point of the blade that your horizontal distance indicator will reference to the line. Once you have the guideline selected, you can head back to the field design screen in the menu and enter the hold slope function. Now the hold slope function is playing up here a little bit on my simulator, but essentially all you need to do is record a point based on the location of the machine, and it'll extend the grade of that slope. Sloping pad is very simple, much the same as a flat pad. Enter the slope pad field, enter a pad name, press next. You can take your first point, record a first point, record your second point. You can enter those values in manually too if desired, and create an infinite slope pad at that heading and slope. Using the ramp field design, I'll demonstrate to you how it can be used to create a crowned road design. First, set a ramp base point. Then record a direction and forward slope. These values are incorrect as it's the simulator throwing funny values, so just ignore that for now. Then you can add a new lane, so on the left hand side I'll add a width of 5 meters and a cross slope of 3%. I'll also do the same for the right hand side. You can preview the ramp design and finish. Now you can see it's created a crowned road design in that direction, which is the pink surface. In grademetrix, we also allow the operator to perform basic topo functions. To do that, select the menu, topo, enter a name to save the points as. Choose a point of interest, which is the blade reference point, and a save method, which can be either by time, distance, or manual. In this case, as an example, I'll change it to time and save a point every 5 seconds. Press OK and start auto. And every 5 seconds, it will take a topo shot and save it to that point file. We've also made it very easy for the operator to access radio and entrip settings for corrections. Just enter the radio settings here in the main menu, second page, and entrip settings as well. This is used for a entrip correction service, VRS service, etc. One major advantage of grademetrix over other competitive systems is calibration and installation process. Just quickly go through the machine measure ups with you. You can see here for a dozer we can select a VR500 antenna, and there's a few measurements here. Can all be performed with a measuring tape. Sensor network, you set sensor orientations and a summary page. You can also export it from that screen as a backup. Then you'll need to perform a calibration. Simply park the machine facing one direction on flat surface, press calibrate, spin the machine 180 degrees, put the blade on the same mark, press calibrate, and your sensor calibration is complete. Finally, follow the 3D calibration wizard to perform the 3D calibration of the dozer. Unfortunately, I cannot demonstrate that to you on the simulator, but I can assure you it's a very straightforward process and will not take any more than 10 minutes. And finally, we have the diagnostic screen, which is accessible from the main screen view. Hit the icon in the top right hand corner and you'll get some diagnostic information that's accessible to the operator. Clearly indicates, total use satellites, RTK status. We've got satellite view, shows you all the satellites, sensor information, vehicle information, 2D and 3D point checks here for doing checks against existing points to confirm accuracy, bench checks. That's it from me, everyone. I've tried to fit as much as I can into the 15-minute window. And of course, if there are any questions, please ask away in the chat box now. Otherwise, feel free to contact me with any further questions. And with that, I'll hand you back off to Tony. Thanks very much for your time, everyone.
Okay, so that brings us to the final summary. Hemisphere is very pleased to be releasing the grademetrix dozer solution that you have seen demonstrated here today. It offers a new mark with regard to performance and simplicity at an affordable price and is available for evaluation through our dealer network today. The affordable price point makes the system a viable investment to unlock efficiency and cost savings on your site. The barrier to entry for a large sector of the contractor market is now lower, opening this valuable tool to a larger audience for whom the price has previously been prohibitive. This value is provided without compromise on performance and without an array of costly options. It comes with full constellation and inbuilt modem. Installation and calibration can be completed in little more than half a day, minimizing your downtime. And the system is provided with all firmware and software updates without subscription and a 3-year warranty on all main components. The mastless nature of the setup means that your expensive, heavy components are not on masts at the end of your blade, and you don't need 2 of them. Benefits are available in all guises, including track-based guidance and blade-based guidance. For example, consider applying this technology to stockpile loaders for height guidance at the base of the stockpile. The solution increases efficiency across any size of dozer, from the smallest to the largest, and increases the efficiency of your operators no matter what level of skill. Your site costs will see a significant impact due to the benefits of increased accuracy, faster completion to design, less fuel, less material, and less external professional fees. And this will ultimately become less time to complete projects and more profit. So what is the price point I've been referring to? The grademetrix dozer solution is available to you through our experienced dealer network at a price of less than $40,000, including all options and a 3-year warranty. I'd also like to add here that we're currently investigating a financial package that will allow you to acquire the systems on a monthly basis. Typical pricing sort of areas for that will be around about $500 per week, and you'll own it in 2 years' time. So in conclusion, contact your dealer or contact us and we'll put you in touch with one of our dealer partners. Invest 15 minutes of your time finding out how fast we can have you trialing a system and starting to save money. You should also be aware of the government stimulus initiative currently available for purchases before June 30 this year. All acquisitions can have the entire cost depreciated this year. If you purchase the system this year, you get your tax back within months. Lastly, I'd also like to mention that we'll be leaving the webinar open for about 50 minutes or so to answer your questions on the right-hand side. So feel free to contact us or your dealer with any questions. I thank you for your attention. Have a great day.